Welcome to G3, Games, Gadgets, and Guests, a video podcast from 702. I'm your host, Brent Crommett. I've got a game episode for you today, and today we're going to talk about Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Uncharted is a series that I'd heard of and I'd been encouraged to play, but I never really found the time for. In fact, I might have the box set edition on my shelf still in the plastic. So yes, I had great intentions of giving The Lost Legacy here a go too, but that never really happened. So just to explain, The Lost Legacy is a departure from the series in that the main character is not Nathan Drake. In fact, in this installment, the game follows treasure hunter Chloe Fraser from Uncharted 2 and 3 on her journey to recover an ancient Indian artifact. In order to track it down and to keep it out of the hands of the bad guys, she has to enlist the help of a former paramilitary leader turned gun for hire, Nadine Ross from Uncharted 4. So again, Uncharted is a hugely successful series that has lots and lots of fans. I'm just not one. So I found one to come do the review of the game for me. So if everyone here in the studio would welcome back my brother to the show, Brent Crommett, everyone. Have a seat, Brent. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, talk to me a little bit about your history playing Uncharted.
Well, I guess I've been playing Uncharted ever since the first one came out, probably.
Okay.
PlayStation 2.
So you were one of the guys that told me that this is a series that's worth playing.
Absolutely.
And I never did.
And which is fine.
Not because I didn't believe you.
Which is fine. It is a time eater. I guess I've played everyone that's come out. They've all been very engaging. I guess you can think of them as like a Tomb Raider / Indiana Jones kind of a thing.
And it's voiced by Nathan Fillion, right?
Nope.
Oh, I thought Nathan Fillion was in this.
There's talk of him doing a movie.
Ah, okay, all right. It's okay. I can be wrong on camera.
Yeah.
I knew Nathan Fillion was associated with the franchise somehow.
I think he would be a good fit in a live action thing. Yep.
Cool.
They're all. It's very story driven as a whole. The series is. It's got a good mix of story and action and a lot of puzzles.
So it's a shooter and a puzzle, and it's a Tomb Raider-y type thing, is right. What you said.
Yep.
So all those things go into it, and there's enough story that it's not just boring button mashing, but there's enough button mashing to get you from piece to story. It's just to have you involved. Is that
absolutely right?
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
And it's for a console. The worlds that they build are very impressive.
Okay.
They're vast and visually pleasing.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, The Lost Legacy, as we said, is a departure from your main character, but you were familiar with the characters in this from previous games.
Correct. Chloe was in, well, I think you said 2 and 3.
I believe I said
because
that.
Because you wouldn't know that. But
right.
Yeah, she was in there, and Nadine was one of the antagonists that turns protagonist in the last one.
Okay.
And this one actually is initially started out as just a DLC for the previous one, but it got so big and they had so much fun with it that they decided to make its own standalone thing.
So they had enough fun with this that they made it from DLC into a standalone. Did you have fun with it?
Yes. I don't. I thought that Chloe and Nadine were not as strong as Nathan is in the main series, which is to be expected, I suppose. It was still a good story. Perhaps their interactions and back and forth weren't as polished as they could have been.
Okay.
But it was still an enjoyable game.
Solid story and a solid gameplay.
Yeah, if you like the other ones, you'll like this one. I mean, it definitely didn't fail.
Perfect.
So
perfect. Well, let's go ahead and let everybody take a little bit of a look then at Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. All right, so here we are, Uncharted: Lost Legacy, and you're most of the way through, right? You're chapter 8 now of 9. Is that what you said?
8 out of 9, I think.
8 out of 9.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And what's happening in the story so far? Not to give everything away.
Much like in Indiana Jones film, you're searching for a treasure, and there is an antagonist that is also searching for that treasure, and you make some headway, and then he comes and gets in the middle of it, and it's a whole
thing?
some strife.
Okay, all right. And so at this point, we're in another puzzle part of the game?
Yeah, we just met up with Sam here. We just rescued him, and we are trying to intercept the treasure that is no longer in our hands.
Okay, okay. And how many hours would you say that you're into this game right now?
I'd say about 6, probably.
Okay. So it's DLC that turned into a game. So you're 6 hours in, and you're getting close to done. So maybe you'll have 10 hours of gameplay when this is all said and done.
Yeah, as far as the price tag goes, it's what, like 30, something like that for
I don't remember.
DLC. I'd say it's worth it.
Okay.
Definitely get your time in. And if the multiplayer is worth anything, I haven't played that, but if that's worth anything, then it could potentially.
And there's some survival mode I saw too.
Right. I haven't touched that either.
Did you just go in a circle?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. Not judging, just checking.
I was just showing the world.
Okay, okay, perfect.
It's kind of like Assassin's Creed where you do a lot of climbing.
Okay. That's another game I haven't spent much time on.
It's another good one. They're hit or miss, though. That is one of my gripes. Sometimes the camera doesn't necessarily meld with what you're doing.
So this is the same problem I have sometimes in Shadow of War, right? Is you want to jump somewhere, but your camera is not in the right place, so your character's just running into a wall or something.
Or jumping off of the cliff.
Or jumping off the cliff.
To her death. But this is also what I was talking about here. Like the world is very, very well done for console graphics.
Oh!
No, I'm dead.
Oh. Oh. I will say too, in the little bit that I played this game, and maybe it's just because I'm not that familiar with how this game is played control-wise, but it doesn't give you a lot of hints on how you're supposed to fight and how you're supposed to jump and how you're supposed to do a lot of the things that you needed to do.
Which is maybe because it was DLC. I think the other ones do
like
give a
right here, it gave you the press triangle to get in the window and stuff like that. But I know, like in some of the first scenes, I had no idea what was going on, like how I could get around, how I could look around, all of that. So
I could see that as an issue. Yes.
Wasn't that great?
Guns, ammo, maybe?
Maybe.
I thought Shoreline didn't do arms, did
So a good example of a cutscene, story-driven part of the game here. You just had some puzzle stuff, you had to figure it out, and now we're into a whole explanation of how to get into the next scene.
Yep. And so that's Shoreline, which was Nadine's old mercenary company.
Okay.
And they're working against her now, and she's very angry about it.
Got it.
Right? Yeah. She gets it.
Okay, well the deal's done.
So is there a chance there's going to be combat soon?
Volker has the tusk.
Very good chance.
Okay. Let's hang out just for a couple more minutes here and see if we can see some of the combat in Uncharted.
Like I said,
I mean, you came all this way.
Relax. You'll live longer. I am so proud.
I did like that the one character there is voiced by Claudia Black, who was on Farscape years and years ago, and was one of my favorite characters on Farscape. So I was interested in that.
No. They'll stick around to clean house first.
She was also in Pitch Black,
Oh, yeah.
if you remember.
I do. So here we can either go guns blazing or sneakily.
And which method do you prefer?
Oh, we'll try the first one and probably end up in the second one.
Oh.
See, and I can move there.
Wow. Okay, all right. So that is a really good look at how I did playing this game too, is because suddenly you get yourself into trouble and suddenly there's all sorts of bad guys everywhere just shooting the ever living life out of you, right?
Right. So there is a time to be
Stealthy. Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's very forgiving too, because it'll if you die in the same spot multiple times, it'll start you like
You don't have to go all the way back to a
You'll have already
checkpoint?
killed
Okay.
like 3 of the enemies. And,
Okay.
Like you don't have to start the whole compound
Okay.
over. So it might be a little too forgiving at some point. Let's find out.
Huh. There's so many guns. Okay, all right. So that's a really good look. We'll stop there for now. But that's a really good look at some of the story, some of the textural design of the game as far as the world goes, and some of the apparently frustrating combat that goes along with this game. So thanks for showing us, Brent.
You got it.
Critics are generally on board with this game. Metacritic score as of this morning when I looked at it was 84 out of 100. And as a player of the series, Brent, would you recommend it?
I say give it a go.
Perfect. That's it, guys. That's the look at Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, please let us know. Please comment on this video, send me suggestions, and remember to share, like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about us, because we've got more games, more gadgets, and more guests coming up. So until next time, I'm Brent Crommett, this is my brother Brent, and this is G3. Game on.